Polanco, Mexico City, living in luxury. We recently spent a month in Mexico City, discovering all the neighborhoods. We stepped into the insanely wealthy neighborhood of Polanco. It echoes refinement, status, and affluence. When walking around Polanco, at times it kind of feels like Paris. Polanco has been labeled the Beverly Hills of Latin America, but I think it's even more sophisticated than that. This neighborhood is all about luxury, style, and living a sumptuous and delicious lifestyle while in Mexico City. No other neighborhood comes even close to Polanco for wealth and status. So many Canadians and Americans call Polanco home, and it is a favorite for both expats and tourists. So, what is it like to live there? Let's take a look at why so many expats are driven to this neighborhood. I was thinking, or maybe even dreaming, could we live here? This is always a big question for Randy and I as we are traveling the world. We are now traveling slowly as a way to get to destinations and for us to search for a new home. After the famous and devastating earthquake in Mexico City in 1985, the grand homes were replaced by commercial properties. The lifestyle and energy of Polanco would change forever.
Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, so please see the link below.
So, why is Polanco considered so safe and one of the most desirable neighborhoods to live? You know, Polanco just feels incredibly international. This is where many of the consulates, diplomats, and embassies are. They are located here in the heart of Polanco. This area was first established in the 1930s with the most ornate and luxurious mansions. These mansions were all built for the establishment and for the elites of Mexico City. With all the international businesses, luxury shops, restaurants, diplomats, it's the big money, wealth that has made Polanco one of the safest neighborhoods in Mexico City. It is secure and safe, and this is hugely attractive for foreigners when moving to Mexico. Security is priceless. The neighborhood is safe both day and night, which is why both the tourists and expats and the wealthy choose to stay and live here. So if you want to stay or live in Polanco, it will cost you more in every aspect. For tourists, accommodations for hotels or Airbnbs will run from the low of $70 all the way up to $2,000 US per night, which is a wide range. Now, if you were to live here and rent would cost you around 1,400 USDs per month, and that's for an average place. You would pay a lot more for a slightly more upscale apartment in Polanco. A more upscale 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in Polanco will cost you between $2,000 and I would say $3,000 a month. And if you were to purchase here, an average condo would cost around $370,000 USD. But of course, for a more luxurious condo, it would be around $1 million USD. Even though it's more costly than other areas of Mexico City, it is palatable. Because when you think about it, you're living in the most exquisite area of Mexico City. When I compared those metrics compared to, say, Vancouver, this is what you get in Vancouver. These buildings are 25 years old, and you're only getting about 800 square feet. And they're around $1.5 million. And don't even get me going on a detached home. This is what you get in Vancouver. $3 million for that, or $4 million for this. So I guess you can see why so many Canadians and Americans are heading to Mexico City and choosing a place like this in Polanco. Yes, it's more expensive than other areas in Mexico City, but it offers a great lifestyle, which is better than what we have in Canada or the United States. Now, let's take a look at the shopping. The most expensive street is Presidente Mazarik Avenue. Here you'll find all the big, iconic fashion houses such as Louis Vuitton, Dior, Hugo Boss, Rolex, and so much more. You know, I don't need the most expensive designer shops, so if I lived here, I would be shopping at the Antara Fashion Hall. Here you'll find more of the everyday brands such as Zara, Carolina Herrera, Birkenstock, and of course my favorite, Lululemon, just because it suits my active travel life. One thing we did notice was that the clothes are more expensive here because they are imported. Oh, and then there's the grocery stores, and grocery shopping is at an entire new level. The grocery stores are beautiful and the selection is impeccable. Here when you grocery shop, there is a depth of selection. No matter what counter you go to, they have everything you can imagine. And you look at the meat counter, they have every single cut you could imagine. And it is mind-boggling of the selection and choice that is available to you every single day here. I think overall what stood out for us the most was the level of service. There are no lineups of people at the checkout, and there's somebody to fill your bags, there's somebody to check you out. It's absolutely incredible. You see, grocery shopping in Canada is actually a miserable experience, as there is no service. Nobody wants to even ring you through a till anymore. Yet our groceries cost more. You know, we're not naive, and we know that there's homeless and drug addicts in Mexico City, but when retailers are paying such high rent and you're in high rent districts, it is refreshing to be able to walk around and feel completely safe. So after shopping, you can head over to Lincoln Park. This park was named after Abraham Lincoln, who very famously opposed the U.S. invasion of Mexico between 1846 and 1848. There are statues of both Abraham Lincoln and Martin Luther King that stand in the park.
Yeah?
Amazing.
Yeah, who are your little friends here?
You know, these parks throughout the city, they're just incredible, beautiful green places to just kind of sit and hang out. And as always, there are plenty of dogs in the parks to visit. And also at the footsteps of Polanco, you have Chapultepec Park, which is the largest park in the entire Western Hemisphere. Chapultepec Park covers 1,695 acres of space, which is double the size of Central Park in New York City. And while in Chapultepec Park, make sure you visit the Castillo de Chapultepec. It's located at the top of the hill, and it's absolutely magnificent. The views are spectacular. What a wonderful way to learn about the history of both Mexico and Mexico City. So when Randy and I look at what Polanco offers, it offers first-class infrastructure with well-paved streets and avenues, efficient transportation systems, quality public services, great security, night lighting, and well-kept green areas. Oh, and the weather's pretty damn good too. In the last half-century, the Polanco neighborhood has become a multicultural zone with families from Europe, Asia, United States, Canada, and other Mexican states. Polanco offers a unique and a luxurious lifestyle for those who can afford it. You know, I can see why so many people are so attracted to this area. Everything is just beautiful and perfect. For Randy and I, maybe a little too perfect. We would definitely come back to Mexico City, and we would definitely come back to Polanco. Could we live here? Absolutely. And what a place.
This is Le Pen.
And I can see why so many Americans and Canadians are flocking to Mexico City. Check out our last video, Mexico, why do people move here? So we are now leaving Mexico City and on to more slow travel around the world. So stay tuned, and as always, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. So stay tuned, heading off to Victoria, British Columbia. It's beautiful there. This was my hometown for 28 years and can't wait to give you the tour of here.